What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Jada Toy Street Fighter 2 Wave 1 action figures. So in this we got Ryu, Fei Long, and Chun-Li. So this is a wave we've had, like, especially Ryu for quite a while, but we were waiting to get all three figures from the wave, and Chun-Li took forever to get here. Both, she finally came in, so excited to do this video. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Street Fighters. I did play Street Fighter 2, I forget which version of it, but it was on the Sega Genesis. I've had that as a kid and played it a lot. So I do know some of the Street Fighter characters from that, and then I've seen, the 90s Street Fighter movie and everything. So I do know some of the characters, but I don't know a whole lot. Like Fei Long to me is a completely new character that I never have seen or heard about until now. But of course I know Ryu and Chun-Li quite a bit. But I think they all look pretty cool. Now, I've had experience with Jada toys. I have their Universal Monsters and I really enjoy those. Think they're really great action figures. So I'm excited for these to get them in some of the poses they can do and everything. So I'm just excited about these figures and to mess around with that. So let me get them out of the boxes and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Ryu, who was an orphan child that was adopted by a guy named Goken, who trained Ryu in a mysterious martial arts alongside with his best friend Ken Masters. And at 23 years old, Ryu set out to travel the world and test his skills against the best fighters, leading to his entrance into the World Warrior Tournament. So he looks pretty cool here. So like I said, I was excited for these figures because, like I said, I've had experience with the Jada toys with the Universal Monsters. So I was excited to see the range of movements and articulation stuff as they compare with the Street Fighter characters. So I was excited for that, and I think they do have really good articulation and everything. The one thing I have issues with about these is mostly their looks. Like, I mean, this could look exactly like Ryu. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience with Street Fighter just from when I was a kid, but it just seems like his face looks a little bit too weird. Like, it just looks a little bit awkward, and then his body seems really bulky. Like, it almost makes it look like he's fat, even though, he's ripped and has a six-pack and everything, but just with like his gi on, it makes it look like he's fat. But overall, I think he looks cool. Does look like Ryu. This is exactly how I picture Ryu, just like I said, just may not be exact to my recognition, but I think overall looks cool. So there's a look at his face. So I like how he's got the eyebrows coming up, but they go up over his headband, so that's a little bit weird, but nice black hair there, all nice and spiky and stuff, with the red headband going around to the back there. So overall looks pretty decent. And then we get his white gi, so he's got the white top with the black belt on, and then the white pants, and I love how they're all tattered there and stuff. So looks pretty nice around the arms and the ankles, and then just bare chested and bare armed all the way down to he's got the glove things on. I don't know if they call these, but in red as well to match his headband, and then barefoot as well. So pretty basic outfit design and everything, but of course this looks like the classic Ryu. Now, movement-wise, we'll get the head that'll twist all the way around, and then you can look down that far and up that far. So they have some articulation, like in the lower neck is mostly, I think, where the neck goes back and forth. It kind of like hinges back and forth there. Doesn't really have too much up in the actual head connection, but has the movement in there. And then the neck itself should be able to twist around a little. I can't really get them to twist too much, so it's mostly just the upper head joint there. But you got good movements with both of those in combination. Then we get the shoulders that can come up. Really strong detents on this, up to 90 there with the butterfly joint back and forth. So pretty decent range, a little sticky in there, but still not bad. And it'll twist all the way around as well. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that'll bend up that far, so almost all the way up. And then the wrist will twist around and hinge back and forth. So it's kind of like got a deep sock in there, so it's hard, you can bend it back and forth there a little. Then we go to the ab crunch. You can see sort of his crunch in there, so you can crunch back and forth and twist around a little, but it's also hard to see what's going on exactly down here at his waist where he crunches a little and twists there as well. So it's hard really to get both of those in combination to twist and crunch. Then we get the hips that come up to 90 and out to the side. He can pretty much do the splits there. We get the thigh twist that'll twist all the way around. The double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back, feels a little bit stiff, can go that far, almost kicking his butt just a tiny bit off. Then we do have an ankle twist right up here at the bottom of the pants leg, so it'll twist around there, and then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty decent movements overall. Some on him specifically is a little bit stiff, and like it's hard to really like figure out the whole ab crunch area because of the gi on top of him, which it feels really soft, so you could probably easily get this gi off of him if you want to have him shirtless or anything. But yeah, it's hard to really see all the articulation going in there. But yeah, just like with how big his body is, then his head just seems so small. It just seems like the sizing is a little bit off, but like I said, that could just be because of the whole design and stuff, they made it look like that. So like I said, look wise, like overall look, he's fine. It's just when you look at specifics, like I said, with the head compared to the body, seems a little bit too small. So I feel something like that could be improved a little. But then we get some accessories for him, so we do get an additional head, so we have more of an angry head for Ryu, so that looks pretty cool. Let's switch this out and see if it looks any better. And the heads are really easy to switch out with stuff like that. So there he's got the angry head, so if you want to have him more in mid-fight or whatever, he's angry there, ready to face off against somebody. And then we do also get some additional hands, so we get the hands that are more like open palms or whatever you want to call them there. So we got those. These would be perfect for using his special move, so I'll probably switch these out. So there I got the hands switched out, and I can't really get him to pose much better than this. I don't know if I just gotta get it worked around or do something a little bit better, but that's the closest I can get his hands to work to be able to do his Hadouken, which speaking of, we do also get that effect. So we get this blue effect of shooting off his Hadouken, and you can see it has the hands in there, which is pretty cool. You can kind of see, so it has the upper hand and the lower hand. You can see, like, part of his glove there, the wrapping around it and stuff. So that is pretty cool. That's in there. And then it does come with a stand as well, with a hole in the bottom here that we can just stick it on. So then we can have him shooting it off like this. So we can have Ryu now shooting off his Hadouken. Of course, it seems a little bit too short there, so it's sitting pretty low. But there we can have Ryu doing that, which is pretty cool. So it's awesome that they come with these effects for like their special moves and everything. But there we got Ryu now shooting off a Hadouken, which is pretty cool. So that's one thing I like about this, is getting these effects for their moves is pretty cool. So that is awesome overall for Ryu. And next up we have Chun-Li, which was an Interpol investigator that began searching for clues to her father's recent death, and tips led her to the crime syndicate Shadow Lu and its leader M. Bison, who revealed he did kill her father. And then she received an invitation to the Second World Warrior Tournament, where she had a clear motive to avenge her father's death and face M. Bison. So again, she's another character I'm familiar with through playing the game, so I think she looks good. Now she looks really good to me. Like, her head seems to fit proportional with her body, and everything else looks good. Of course, she has the weird exaggerations with like the really thick thighs and stuff, but it just seems more of how I've always seen Chun-Li pictured. So to me, I think she looks really good. Really nice face design there for her, and I love how she has like things in her hair, with her hair in the buns and those covering on top of the earrings, so that all looks nice. And then her outfit, so she has the blue and yellow outfit, so a nice top with the blue, of course, all the yellow like designs go running out through with the puffy shoulders. That looks pretty fun. A little bit of white there in the midsection, and then like a skirting piece in that blue and yellow as well. Then she has like this reddish brown sort of leggings that go all the way down to her white boots. Then I love how she has the wristbands with the spikes all over, makes them look really dangerous. But overall, I think she looks pretty good, and the skirting's a nice like thin material, so it easily will get out of the way for the movements and everything. And overall, I just think she looks really good. Now for her movements, we get the head all twist all the way around, and then she can look down that far and then up that far. So again, pretty decent movements, and you can see that hinge joint there in the neck, so it allows the good range of up and down. Then we go to the shoulders, that'll come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, so it's just up in the sleeve here, so it'll twist around in there. And then the double elbow joint, that'll bend up that far, so pretty much all the way up on itself again, with the wrist that'll twist around and flex back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, so hers is right under her chest, so she can crunch back and forth a little and twist around, and then also at the waist crunch and twist all the way around. Then we go down to the hips, so the hips can come up to 90 there, and then out to the side. We get a thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint, that a little bit stiff on her, it feels like, but can bend up at least that far, so not as good a range. The shin twist there at the top of the boot, and then the foot will flex back and forth, a little bit stiff, can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So decent range once again. Again, pretty much good range, just a little bit of stiffness in the joints is the only issue with this. But for accessories, we do get an additional head, so get a head with an angry face, so we can have her in a fight. So again, we'll want to switch this head out. So there, she's now ready to be in battle. And we also get some additional hands, so we get more flat palm hands, so we can have those to pose up with her. So not really sure how I want to pose her up yet, but we do have these options, so I may switch them out if I come up with something. And then for her effect, we get the countless kicks, or her lightning kicks. So we have this, so we can take and put this onto her foot and leg, whatever, and have it. And then it of course also comes with a stand to put it on, so we can put that on her leg. And it comes with this stand, so we can put it on here as well, so she can be doing her lightning kicks. So let's do this. So there I got her posed with the quick kick, so that is pretty cool. So again, adding the effect that she's kicking in all those different places. So again, it'll be cool to have all these effects and kind of pose them up to have them all like they're fighting. So that is pretty cool looking there for Chun-Li. So awesome to have her. I think she looks good with the effects. It makes it look really cool doing her move. So very awesome for this Chun-Li figure. And finally, we have Fei Long, which is a character I knew nothing about because he wasn't in the version of the game I had, but he's a tribute to Bruce Lee, and he's a master of kung fu that fought on the streets to sharpen his skills, and in doing so, he caught the eye of a movie director who got him into the movies, and he became an international sensation. But after participating in the Second World Warrior tournament, he gave up movies and returned to fighting on the streets. So overall, I think looks pretty cool, and like I said, being a tribute to Bruce Lee, you can really see that with his design. You know, he kind of has like that Bruce Lee hair design, of course has the crazy eyebrows, much like Ryu had, so his eyebrows go up in the air, and then has more of like a frown on his face, so I think that looks kind of funny. But overall, face-wise, you know, they just kind of look fine, and his head does seem pretty proportional to his body, and he does have a skinnier body, so he's not as big as like Ryu looks, at least in the design-wise, but overall look good, mostly all shirtless, and then has the black pants on, again, much like you see Bruce Lee wearing, but nice like the striped pants or whatever there with the lines going through them all the way down to the shoes, so he has the little shoes on there, so it looks pretty decent. You know, not a whole lot of design or detail to him, looks pretty plain, but with it being after Bruce Lee, you know, makes sense. But we'll do the movement, so the head will twist all the way around, and the neck can look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent. Now, I do have an issue with his neck, like the neck joint keeps like being twisted to the side, and I keep trying to like get it adjusted, and it keeps seeming to be crooked or it needs something. It just keeps annoying me, and I keep trying to fix it, and it just keeps going back into place, so that's a little annoying. And then we get the shoulders that come up to 90 with that butterfly joint, so we can really see the good movements on them without any shirt, so it moves back and forth decent and can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist that'll twist around, and the double elbow joint that'll bend up that far, so pretty decent. The wrist will twist around and hinge back and forth, yeah, a little bit of back and forth. And then we get the ab crunches, so we have the upper crunch, so again, very little crunching with this, just tiny bit back and forth, and again, very little twisting as well. He doesn't really stick, he kind of just goes to the side and moves back. But then we have the waist where he'll crunch and twist all the way around. And we go to the hips that can come up to 90, a little bit stiff in these, but you can get them up there, so to 90 and then out to the side, can pretty much do the splits. We have the thigh twist that'll twist all the way around, a double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back, not far from kicking his butt. We have an ankle twist at the bottom of the pants leg here, can twist around, and then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So decent movements. Once again, like I said, there's just some issue with like some stiffness in the joints, and then like with his neck, how I can't get it twisted, and then same with this upper ab crunch, you know, I can get it twisted, but he won't stay. He just kind of keeps going back and won't twist all the way around. So not sure what's going on with the joints exactly and what kind of range they have fully. But for accessories, we get a lot of the similar things. So we get an additional head. So again, one here. He doesn't really seem to be much angry. You can see his mouth's open a little. So maybe a little bit different head. It's kind of hard to really tell which one, but let's just switch it out. So there's that other head. So like I said, it doesn't really seem a whole lot of difference between the two. We get some additional hands. So we have hands that are sort of like more posed up again for like fighting style. So again, don't really know what I want to do with him. So we'll just have to switch out if I come up with something. And then finally we get his effect, which unfortunately we don't get a stand for him or anything, but we do get a part of his KO kick or his blaze kick where his leg turns on fire and as he's kicking and stuff, so we can, you know, just take his leg, kind of point his toe there, and then slide this on the end of it so he can be doing the kick. And I know like from the pictures I saw, his leg goes up like crazy high and he's kind of like posed up and everything, so kind of like a weird sort of like flying in the air kick type thing. But yeah, he just has this kick where his leg is on fire, so I don't really know if I can pose him up with it on him, because like I said, all the pictures it was just, you know, like floating up in the air, so not really sure. But yeah, it'd be cool to have this as an effect, you know, to put on the shelf, but I definitely have to get a stand or something to hold him up since he doesn't come with any. So overall, I think he looks pretty cool. Like I said, pretty basic, but like I said, being designed after Bruce Lee, you kind of get it from that, you know, design wise. So I think overall he looks pretty nice and a nice design, and does look a lot like Bruce Lee, so it makes sense. So overall, it's really cool to have Fei Long and to learn about a new character. Well, that's going to be it for Wave 1 of our Jada Toys Street Fighter figures, where we got Ryu, Chun-Li, and Fei Long. All three are pretty cool. Like I said, I feel Ryu's probably worse, just like I said, because his look seems to be a little bit off. Really love the Chun-Li. She's like pretty much perfect. Like I can't really ask for anything better for her. All the proportions and everything look just identical in how I've always pictured her, so she's perfect. And Fei Long's cool. Like I said, I've never seen him before outside of these figures, so hard to really tell, but I think he looks pretty good with it being based off Bruce Lee. You know, looks almost exactly like that, so I think that's pretty good as well. So Ryu's the only one that, like I said, I feel could be a little bit better, but all are really cool, have good articulation, can get in pretty decent poses and everything. So I'm really happy with these figures, and I'm excited to see the rest of the figures as they come out. But let me know what you thought of this wave down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.